After a year and 5 LPs, our doomed journey ends today in Emora, the most ancient city in hell, where we're gonna take on the Dark Lord at long last.
Finally, we get to punch ourselves in the throat.
Let hell tremble before our might!
By Herm's law, if the Dark Lord is defeated in ritual combat, any demon outside his realm will be destroyed.
Wow, that's convenient.
Yeah, I mean, he's all that's keeping the demons alive, essentially. Once the Dark Lord's dead, the demons will be pretty much banished to hell for all eternity.
Oh, damn, I wish you looked off the... Yeah!
Look, the big stabby robot.
Oh, I only, looked at it briefly, though. It was kind of cool.
I really wish you could have controlled one. There was the giant robot that looked like it was being built in the Fortress of Doom, and I was like, when do I get to drive that?
And I feel like they were trying to largely avoid minigame stuff.
Yeah, and I guess I appreciate it. I mean, in the long run, I probably wouldn't have loved it. I probably would have broken the flow a bit.
But the idea is cool.
Actually, never mind. I will avoid spoilers for another game. I won't even say the game, so no one can say go ahead. It doesn't matter.
What?
I was gonna compare this to another game, but it might have been a spoiler to that game, so I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. Why bring it up?
Because I realized in the middle of a sentence it was a bad idea. That tentacle took it for that gargoyle. Man, that was really funny to me.
You literally bust a gut.
Alright, the final escalation encounter, very early in the level. This one is a bitch. I mean, the first one's okay. We got maker drones. I don't know how they're here. I don't know why there's still makers, like blood makers and maker drones, but whatever. Free ammo.
Just don't think too hard about it.
I guess they still have a stake in this, even though the Con Maker is dead and the Seraphim is not dead, but we also don't see him again. I don't actually know where the Seraphim is, because we didn't kill him. The father just teleported him away.
Yeah, he seemed very angry about you killing the father, but then decided, you know what, whatever.
And the father doesn't seem to care either. Like, I think maybe he still doesn't know we destroyed his life sphere.
Maybe he just really thinks he's our dad.
He thinks that he's the father of whoever he's talking to at the particular moment.
My dear son, intern, I haven't talked to you in months.
My dad's name is Phil.
I am Phil.
At last, I know my true alias. Phil. What if God was Phil?
It's like the idea of the intern getting contacted by the father, but the intern's mouth is just full of popcorn, so he just keeps trying to talk through it, and the father just does not understand and gives up.
Oh, God.
How you doing? I'm a big fan.
Christianity? Way awesome.
I'm clearly not that god.
Well, I have a lot of existential questions to ask myself. I'm gonna drown them in popcorn.
Popcorn and shitty coffee.
I guess there are worse coping foods and drinks to have. My stress food is popcorn.
It's important to remember that the intern is basically the only person in the building, too.
Yeah, everyone else just GTFO'd.
So nobody's gonna believe him when he tells them what happened.
He's just watching you the entire time, but also he's got, like, his favorite anime on the side.
Now they'll be stunned for longer. But we have one more skin to unlock, which I will not be wearing because we're out of levels. You know what? I'll wear it during the multiplayer video. How about that?
Okay.
Sure.
At least for one round, then I'll change to what my preferred skins are.
Ah, shit, then I know what skin to wear. You just don't know. Show up wearing the same dress and it's really awkward.
But if we're wearing the same thing, it means that we're secretly on the same team.
Ah!
Except there's not two Doomslayers in the game at the same time, so we'll never know.
But you can't wear the same thing. Someone's gotta change.
We can't wear the same person.
We can't wear the same species. Well, one of us has to die. We're just letting it all out for the end of Doom, aren't we?
Let it all hang out.
God damn it, something bumped me, which messed up my alignment.
Smack your ass, it was weird.
I don't think I ever really pointed it out, but pretty much anything that can be destroyed with a precision bolt can also be destroyed with the ballista. It's basically a railgun at that point. Just perfectly accurate.
Yeah, but it's also, like, significantly less ammo efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that wolf.
God, oh, this carcass. Where are you? There you are.
Just being a real fucker.
I'm pretty sure, I just noticed it now, but I'm pretty sure he did that twice.
He did. That's why you got the wolf on your ass.
Everything is annoying me here. I just want to kill this Marauder. I think it might... No, it is not the last Marauder in the game. But I think that Gargoyle took the Marauder axe head shot for me. You saw him stagger.
Yeah, to the ass.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
everything existing to get in your way from killing this marauder.
Oh, he was close to dead, but I decided to just use the hammer. He would have stayed stunned for much longer had he, still been alive.
I mean, he was glory killable, and you just shot him out of it.
No, the hammer made him glory killable.
Oh.
Oh, there's another one. Shit, I forgot. But yeah, using the hammer on a stunned marauder makes it stunned for like 5 straight seconds. And if you're efficient enough, you absolutely can kill the marauder in one stun cycle. There sure is a lot here. This is actually a super, intense fight. Probably one of my favorites in the game, honestly.
Who are you? Woohoo! Woohoo!
I don't know how I did that. I guess the concussion blast from the headshot stunned the marauder? Didn't know that could happen.
Sir, please, put your wolf on a leash or we will have to arrest you.
Somebody needed to dump a bucket of water on that dying tyrant. Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, okay, uh-huh.
Hellforged. That's all the escalation encounters. No more gore nests for the rest of the game. Wasn't done. Gotta kill the map now. So after, the 2 really pretty maps that Part 2 started with, I'm kind of surprised that, Imora is so dingy. It's ancient, of course. It's the oldest part of Hell, which means it's probably one of the oldest places in existence. But it's clearly still been upgraded with modern technology pretty frequently, so I would think it would have a little bit more pizzazz and a little bit less dinge to it. Very muted.
I don't know that Hell would go very pretty.
Well, I mean, I don't know if pretty would be the right word, but I would say the redder, deserty parts of Hell with the brighter reds were more visually appealing than this. It's very brown.
I guess it would be kind of cool to do something a lot redder like Doom 2016 as a bookend.
Yeah. It's here, at the end of our Doom LPs, where you start feeling mercy for the demons.
You're about to commit a genocide, so...
Alright, that zombie was the last straw. Also, I'm not committing a genocide. The demons will still be alive, they'll just be stuck in hell.
It'll be house arrest.
To be fair, you've been committing a genocide for a while now.
The thing is, I don't think there are a finite amount of demons. As long as people die, as long as bad people die, demons shall be a thing.
Well, then I guess we just kill the bad people, too. Wait.
Until there are no more bad people born.
And then we kill all the demons.
Wait.
Fine, just kill them twice. Or find a way to forcibly extract their soul and destroy it. Normal things.
Normal, healthy things to say in public.
Yeah, exactly.
Extract their soul. Tell that to the guy on the bus. You won't get kicked off.
Everyone feels the same way I do. They're just too afraid to say it.
I say we extract people's souls.
Yeah, and then kill their soul. It's very simple.
Okay, stone imps are getting on my fucking nerves now. This is when I just gave up on, like, I don't know, liking stone imps because I liked them, I guess. I don't know.
Usually when someone says they Sonic the Hedgehog after you, it's just a cliche because they're rolling. But no, they're literally doing the homing attack at you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was mostly referring to the rolling, but you saying that makes me feel more creative.
Just reminds me of the Sonic and Diabolon boss fights. Here, yeah.
I'm sorry, the what?
From Shadow the Hedgehog, I believe. Well, my laminated paper is all the way across the room.
I barely remember anything about that game except the time that he fucking murked Eggman.
The karate chop.
The karate chop.
Oh, that game is a treasure. It really is.
No, it isn't.
It kind of is.
No.
One man's trash, you know how that goes.
I guess if you set your sights low enough, anything can be a treasure.
Yeah, and with that said, I'm gonna try to like stone imps again.
Timer set.
I've got until the end of this episode to like stone imps. Turrets and the goop is a bad combination. Jesus Christ! And, of course, the classic cheeseburger. I'm just gonna call this thing a cheeseburger. The possessed Hell Knight.
Yeah, this is all hat by this point.
Yeah, just possess something else. Give me a possessed Archvile. I don't give a hoot.
Nope. You're gonna get a Hell Knight and you're gonna fucking like it. Now, you fucking better enjoy busting. I hope it makes you feel good.
Nah, I just let it go. It'll become a summoner, and then we'll play Doom 2016 again, and there'll be one more summoner than I remember.
Look at those Spartans.
Hey, boys. How's it going?
No, we're not allowed to look at you. I think I give the thumbs up. I'm not ready for this.
Why do you keep launching your own ass as a projectile?
Because it's fun.
We had no idea Hell had their own technology. It must have been centralized here, like some kind of ruling elite.
Did you just skip that page?
Don't worry about it.
You just looked right at it.
Alright. Oh, wait, never mind. Here's a pain elemental. We'll take care of this. And then, I introduce the most fucking stupid thing ever. These guys. They die with any hint of damage. They don't do a lot of damage themselves. They explode with ammo. You can't chainsaw them. Why are they here?
Because blood is fuel.
Look at that one. He flew. I don't know. Why are they here? I almost feel bad that I almost called Stone Imps the most useless addition.
I'm not even sure what purpose that would serve thematically.
I don't know. They're just hell troops. Also, this is me seeing the page I missed.
The Seed of Doubt is the perfect name for it. Whoops.
I doubt this guy's gonna find me. Ah, yes. The Room of Suck. Well, that was fun.
Ow, my toe.
Bloodly roasted your buns.
Here's an interesting encounter. 2 marauders and a whole bunch of screechers. Be very careful here.
Do their buffs stack?
No. But it will extend the timer. It resets the timer, essentially, if you kill 2 screechers back to back. Alright, 1 down. I remember at first, when I first played this, my strat was just to kill all the screechers and get them all out of the way. Bad idea, they respawn here. I didn't realize how, like, I wouldn't say they're easy to avoid. I thought it was, like, near impossible because of how many of them there were, but it's definitely possible. What? Okay, I actually don't know what happened there. Something launched me off the edge. At first, like, rewatching the footage, I thought it was the Baron, but the Baron had just spawned, like, 20 feet away from me. So I don't know why I was yeeted off the ledge like that.
He spat at you really hard.
Hey, Doomslayer. Hot poo.
Hey, Doomslayer. Achoo!
Oh no, not the hell sneeze. Alright.
He did it in sync. It was impressive.
They're just so upset.
I believe at this point we have rid this game of marauders. Kalu Kalay.
Nida Kalikimaka.
I know you said you were excited for Christmas, but it's Maythorn.
Hopefully nobody tells all of these sentinels and whatnot that this is entirely Doomguy's fault.
Not entirely. Well, I mean, it's for the greater good. Ah!
Yeah, tell that guy.
I mean, like, what? Once we kill the Dark Lord, we never have to worry about hell again. That's... I feel like this may be worth it in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, what a great shot.
Thanks.
I wasn't talking about you.
Sorry, I got a notification that there is a new offer-up listing for Xenoblade Chronicles, and I would really like to find a copy of Xenoblade 2 for less than $100. So I was just checking that real quick.
No, there was an Arachnotron who was shooting you and just, you didn't even move and it still missed.
Well, yeah, I destroyed its one accurate weapon. It's really funny, because if an Arachnotron does not have a path to you and you destroy its laser and you're far enough away, it's just gonna stand there.
Dum-de-dum.
Just because you didn't like the sound, Torp.
Yeah, definitely not you being completely unsure if you had it or not.
I know, I even have this new HUD that shows right in front of my face that I have it.
See you later!
And this HUD was accidentally disabled in one of the Ancient Gods parts, and no one noticed. And now they will.
I'm also shit. You shot his ear.
Close enough. Ear's part of the head. Oh. Well, that shaved my nose hairs.
Oh god.
Not fucking with you. Son of the entire bitch. Okay, there we go.
Yes, sir. One whole bitch, thank you.
Oh, I'm in trouble. What the fuck? He was frozen and didn't drop a lot of health when I hammered him.
Did he unfreeze at like the last second?
Maybe. It looked like he was still frozen.
Oh man, a collectible.
It's BFG ammo.
What a collectible. No, that was a collectible.
Yep.
Critical literature. You need to read this.
You must.
Critical literature.
It's describing everything about the fucking Dark Lord's background, and I remember it being incredibly stupid.
Oh my god, you've read this?
He was the first person ever created, and he was gifted with ambition, and that was his downfall.
Remember, don't want anything. Don't aim for anything. Stay in your lane.
He was the Father's first creation.
Don't read Marx. What are you doing?
He ruled over his people. Well, but the problem is he was immortal and they were not.
You know what? I haven't read it yet, but I completely believe you. That's the tale.
I'm telling the truth, and that's the problem.
Yep, I'm sticking to it. I have clocked out of this plot ever since we started the Ancient Gods part of the LP. I'm not reading another day. I haven't even posted as of recording, I haven't even posted the codex entries in the thread. I need to get to that.
I remember reading a little bit about it at the end of our last recording session, and it's just like, oh my god, this is... Oh...
Yeah, somebody quoted that in the comments. Oh god, I'm reading the wiki, Torpor Typus. Shit. Not good that I just lost a life. I don't think there are any more for the rest of the game.
Finally, it's time to... Oh my god. Why is there so much text?
One. Oh, the other one recovered. Never mind. God.
See, the problem is, he had a love, intense love of his people, as he was created as such by the Father. Which is his problem, because his people were mortal, and they saw mortality as a curse.
Yeah, this doesn't sound too far off of something like a D&D plot, which isn't that bad a thing.
He feared his people's extinction, leaving him alone in an empty realm.
Okay, that's funny. The Dark Lord's loneliness, funny.
So they turned towards defeating death itself.
I want to fuck up the Grim Reaper in this game. Well, no, that's probably not a good idea, because then no one will ever die, and that'll cause its own problems.
He sealed off their realm because the daddy was afraid that Jakad would try to overthrow him.
You know, I'm actually reminded of one of those, like, oh, this plot sounds so cool things that I came up with when I was, like, 6 years old. Of a story where the Grim Reaper is going fucking crazy and just killing everybody. And the only way to stop them was for some action heroes to summon God himself. I thought that was cool when I was 6.
Even using the meat hook in the story.
Yeah. Oh, and get ready. It's about to get better, actually.
Oh.
He's gonna actually hook some meat.
Woohoo! Yeah! I kind of wish I could do that, but that was pretty awesome.
That was the same glory kill animation you do literally all the time.
Yeah, but I still wanted to hook the pain elemental to make it over here.
And it would have been cool if when you glory killed him, that gave you all the ammo and health that you used for the rest of the fight.
That would be cool, yeah.
Kind of obnoxious.
It is absurdly obnoxious, actually. I hate this fight. Just a bunch of fucking stone imps.
Also, the daddy decided to seal Davoth away, leading to him becoming the Dark Lord in his homeworld hell as an act of rebellion.
Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna become the Dark Lord now.
You're approaching the Dark Lord Sanctum. I'm starting to lose my connection, though. Doomslayer, sir. I won't be able to...
And it slowly became hell and absolutely horrible as their singular focus, because they were so obsessed with their singular focus of defeating mortality.
This is all very lovely.
Just trying to figure out where the fuck the demons come in.
I invented demons. Alright. Technically the end of this level. The final boss is a level all of its own.
Okay, well, you got all the backstory. Congrats.
Yes, thank you. Because again, God knows, or Father knows, I guess. I don't give a shoot.
Daddy knows. Daddy knows best.
Daddy knows.
You bring violence and war to thwart the Dark Realm. But conflict was born in hell. It is inevitable. A fire that fuels creation and gives purpose where there is none. Stand and fight, Slayer. Honor your true God. Fight and show me your purpose.
Alright. First of all, I'd like to say the first time I reached this boss, my computer crashed. It was really funny. Because it did that crash where, like, the sound effect stopped, so it was like, eh. Anyway, the Dark Lord. He's a big marauder. I really could stop my description there, but I will go on. So, when his eyes glow green, which he will only do when you're at a medium length from him, you not only have to shoot him to make him vulnerable, but you also have to use the Sentinel Hammer to make him vulnerable for a very long time. At that point, the game and I recommend you just blast him with the turret mod for the chain gun.
Mobile turret.
Yeah, the mobile turret, to just do as much damage as possible.
Did he just fucking heal?
Yes! If he hurts you, he will suck your life out. And that is so disheartening. To, like, do a lot of damage to him and then have him hit you and recover a big chunk of health, because he will do a lot of health recovery, like, all at once. If he hits you, like, one time, it'll be a good chunk that he recovers. And in the tradition of Doom sequels and their final bosses, this is not a hard boss, but I am very bad at it. Oh my god.
Look at this fucking loser using sword and board.
I mean, I guess thematically it makes sense. You take the health from the enemies you kill.
Yeah, it does make total sense when you think about it that way, but it's still a fucking pain in the ass. I kind of just wish he had more health instead of him sucking the health away.
You don't fight like marauders, though, so that's the part that confuses me, or at least it doesn't quite line up for me.
He slashes his sword at you, and then, like, if you're far away, he will shoot you with lasers, so it's similar. It's just another stoplight enemy, which we've already had too many of in the DLC. Overall, I didn't love this boss my first time through. My second time through, I hated it. He actually takes way too long sometimes to become vulnerable. And like, it is so heartbreaking when he recovers a ton of health. Oh, I was tilting very hard when I was fighting this boss. It's probably the least amount of fun I've had playing Doom Eternal, like, ever.
Mechanically, he doesn't seem that interesting.
He's not interesting. And look, he's taking goddamn ages. I'm just waiting to do damage to him. Marauders are at least, like, they're vulnerable pretty often. This guy's just taking his sweet-ass time.
He should flash green every time he swings his sword. That seems to be the signal.
I know. Another case where, like, if you want him to be vulnerable more, like...
Nice!
Give him more health. That would make this... Oddly enough, more health would make this fight feel less grindy.
He's back to full...
I know! Oh, it's so frustrating.
Well, because, like, some of those moves look really hard to avoid, but all of them give him a shitload of health.
It can be. The shield is probably the hardest to avoid, but a little creative thing, you could just put up the chain gun shield and block it entirely from head on, which is cool. The only problem is then you need to switch back to the mobile turret to do maximum damage, because at one point during the speed up section, I tried to like shield ram him like I do with other enemies. It actually does not work that way. He won't take damage from that. So you're going to need to use the mobile turret or like your own strat. It doesn't have to be the mobile turret, but I find that to be the most efficient. You may have your own preference. Shotgun ballista combo is not bad itself, but this is just how I fight it. There's probably a few ways to do it.
Maybe one way to make this less grindy is if he got diminishing returns on, say, the health he got back from you, or he was able to be stunned longer, just more often as you stunned him.
Yeah, that would be nice. Just that this boss could definitely use some tweaks. I do not like it. Especially considering it is really not hard. Like, there's zombies everywhere. You can get your health back very easily. He fucking spuges out health every time you shoot him. You're never in really that much danger of dying. I'm not gonna say I've never died to him. I died plenty of times my first playthrough. But it's just not... the Seraphim was so much harder, and it felt like so much more of a legitimate challenge, because even though like the most of the challenge came from the spirited enemies, they were always vulnerable and they were just difficult encounters. This guy is just, you just wait forever, and I hate it.
This just feels like a war of attrition.
It's the funny thing that the Seraphim feels like it would be a much more thematically appropriate final boss than Satan.
Yeah, because I mean, the Seraphim was there the whole time. Dark Lord, I mean, he's technically been there. He created hell, but we haven't really talked to him.
Dark Lord is just a big guy. It's just like you in big armor and a doofy helmet.
Yeah, that's why this boss is why I'm so upset that of the twist that you are the Dark Lord, because this could have been a big, cool demon. But I'll stop talking because something's about to be revealed.
He is the first being and my creator. When he fell, I ascended.
So you actually got some details wrong there, Tor. Father didn't create the Dark Lord. Dark Lord created the Father.
My God.
And its people would have been perfect.
So technically the Dark Lord is gone.
Treachery of my servants. They sealed me away, stole my power and name. And now the time has come for a reckoning.
I hate his voice. It's so fucking
As all
much.
things were made by my hand, so shall they be unmade, starting with you.
He's just not very intimidating. Again, a dude with a crew cut is a very good hero and a very lame villain.
The point of Doom Guy isn't really, at least at this point, his face.
And I mean, even then, Doom Guy's not supposed to look cool. If anything, he's supposed to just look pretty regular to, like, have him be more relatable.
Just look like a soldier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, they never even, well, they never really showed you this face that much to begin with, in at least the modern games. Because, like, the point was never his face. So just seeing his face, he just looks like a dude who's just jacked as shit.
I guess it's more the nostalgia because, like, in the classic Dooms, you saw his face literally all the time. Also, ow.
Yeah, but he emoted more than this guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Weirdly enough.
Like, this guy's just, yeah, very straight-faced, but, like, classic Doom guy's face, when you picked up a weapon, he will do this grimace, or he'll, like, grit his teeth when you fire the weapon for a long time. I never thought of that. Yeah, he's way more expressive in the classic games.
It's just the thing about id. Looking at this, I wonder what internally their reaction is to the things people don't like and didn't like about Doom Eternal, like automatic shotgun, the Marauders, and all that. I wonder why their reaction to that was not, maybe we should make that something, maybe we should tweak it to appeal better to players, but instead they went with, let's make them deal with it anyway. And harder.
I feel like they really misinterpreted people's distaste for the Marauder, because I think they think that people don't like the Marauder because it's hard, and not because it kind of messes with the flow. Again, I like the Marauder. I do not have a problem with him on his own. But I feel like that's how they interpreted it. That's why they made a fight with 2 Marauders like one of these selling points of the DLC. It's like, hey, you think the Marauder's hard? Here's 2 of them.
I feel like it would be more thematically appropriate if it was just a high-speed mirror match.
That'd be interesting. Like some kind of like Zelda 2 type deal.
Well, to more hammer home the fact that he is essentially your opposite.
Right.
Instead of this clunky dude with a sword and board chilling in this giant armor.
Again, I'd prefer a big demon, because the demon designs are so fucking cool.
I know, I'm just saying if they're going with the whole inverse thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not your mirror. You don't fight like this.
Yeah. And even then, he's only your mirror from an aesthetic standpoint. He just takes your form because you are what the demons most fear and respect. I'd imagine the Dark Lord can, like, if you looked differently, the Dark Lord would then look like that. And he doesn't act like you, he doesn't... Again, his armor doesn't look like you. As Thorn said, you don't fight like this.
The Dark Lord, in turn.
He is the intern to them, through their eyes.
And I am his daddy. I think, Phil.
Oh, this part's frustrating. I was paying too much attention to the health bar, so I was missing most of my shots, and I would have finished him off there. So I was shooting between his arm.
I think I've done that before.
And then he gained
Fucking
a bunch
guy.
of health back. I was so angry. Good
Just
lord.
doesn't seem like it feels good.
No.
I think an obvious answer to fixing the annoyance of the health is you being able to pick it back up too.
That'd be a great idea. Like, if you could just recover it before he picks it up. I don't know why, this quote actually made me feel a little bit, that made me feel kind of emotional. And with that, that is the end of Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 2, the end of Doom Eternal, and the end of our Doom Let's Plays.
It's been a year.
It's been a year, so I guess we should start with Doom Eternal itself. What did we think?
Writing-wise, it definitely got obnoxious, but with how it played, I can definitely see why, in the long run, you enjoy it more. It feels like there's definitely a lot more fluidity of movement and freedom of movement and options for you to do them. That definitely appeals to me in gameplay. I feel like if I were to play them, I would probably enjoy playing this one more. They just need to get their heads out of their asses. Jesus Christ.
Right. The movement I cannot praise enough. Things like the dash and the meat hook, they add so much fluidity. It is like moving around and everything is so good feeling in this fucking game. That almost makes it on its own as fun, even if all the other mechanics didn't gel so well with each other. The movement itself, like, I want every first-person shooter to feel this good. I really do.
Going back to what I said back in like part 3 or something, I think I would be more okay with the writing if there was just something more to ground it. Because we kind of got that with the intern, just a guy who's on board with it, but more chances to see normal human people actually doing something where Doomguy doesn't feel like the only one who can solve everything. Also, we kind of saw that in this part, where all of the armies, all of the Sentinels came in to join you in the fight. I would have liked to see a lot more of that earlier in the game.
Yeah, it felt very weird and sudden.
Yeah, like, where were you the rest of the game? Like, where were you when Hell was invading Earth? Well, I guess that they were kind of being held off by the makers, by the con maker and such. And then she died, and they had less of an excuse. But yeah, I agree. The writing, I used to like it quite a bit. The DLC really soured it. But the world itself fascinates me, but it just kind of, you're right, it's kind of a bit too much up its own ass.
Ancient Gods, I ended up liking the writing a little bit more, if only because it actually reinforced Doomguy's own agency in the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
He needed a lot more of that in the main story. It felt like he was just standing around waiting for people to finish talking. And because of that, whatever he did, it felt like he was being influenced by what people were saying, even though he was probably acting entirely on his own volition. It doesn't feel like that when he's just waiting for people to stop talking.
Right.
I think my favorite thing in this whole, him going no at the end is up there, but him holding the life sphere up to the Seraphim and breaking it in his face is probably my favorite moment.
Yes, it was such a fuck you to, like, all the pain that the Seraphim and, by extension, Samuel Hayden caused.
I thought that moment with the Seraphim was also a pretty good character moment for Seraphim/Samuel Hayden, that his ego is so big, he's so myopic, that he can't consider for a second, after you've really not done what he's told you to do for the entirety of the last game, he can't consider for a second that you're going to go against his wishes at all. He is so up his own ass. He does not expect to be betrayed at all.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, Samuel Hayden ended up being a pretty good character. Not a character I really think about very much, but yeah, he added a lot to the lore and a lot to, like, the motivation of the whole game.
Hello? He's still here? Great. I have a message for you from Marty, Hugo, and all the hardworking devs at id Software. Thanks for playing. Hell wouldn't be the same without you.
God damn it.
Much like the end of MDK, I did not know this was a thing until I sat through all the credits, which again were like 15 minutes.
My god.
In the current event that's happening.
Fuck off. I fucking hate this game. That's a fucking mood right there.
But yes, the writing itself can be largely ignored. Unlike with Doom 2016, again, you can skip the cutscenes if you really don't give a shit, which I couldn't blame you for doing. The gameplay is so tight. There is a lot to it, but it is something you will get used to as you play, I think. If you have any experience with playing first-person shooters, then I think that this is definitely something that would be within your grasp. Again, as I said, play Doom 2016 first. That sets the groundwork. Doom Eternal expands on it. At least conceptually, I think it is what every video game sequel needs to be. It is not the same thing again. It adds so much. It feels like its own experience in such a cool way. Doom 2016, again, is probably the most quality game of the two, but Doom Eternal is my favorite, and it is the most fun, and I still fucking play it. Like, I've been playing Doom for a year. I've been commentating it every other Tuesday for a year. I still play classic Doom. I still play Doom Eternal here and there just for fun. I love Doom Eternal so much, and I want to make that super clear because it sounded like I was getting a bit more down on the game as the Ancient Gods moved on. But I love this game. If it looks fun to you, I really recommend it.
Pretty rad game. My issues though I have already made apparent. Like, it's a game I never finished, but it's not that I didn't finish it because of gameplay reasons. I didn't finish it because I was having really weird tech issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to clarify that it is only partially the game's fault, but not because of gameplay itself. I didn't like the weak point system. I liked the mobility though, and I liked being able to move fast and all that. And I feel like if I was to compare it to something, definitely something that I may have actually just played on this weekend, I think Ultra Kill does speed like that, just high speed, high octane action, things constantly happening, while mechanical depth without having the weak point system, and that feels better to me. But like, I get why they did it too. They wanted you constantly be swapping weapons and using certain weapons and just adjusting to the occasion, even if it's not necessarily for me. And holy shit, there's a lot of wank with the story. It's everything Doom 2016 made fun of played straight, and that's kind of what bugged me. Is it would be one thing if parts of it were tongue-in-cheek, or they were just taking the piss out of themselves, but no, there was no self-awareness. They went all in on that shit right up to the very end, and it is not great.
Yeah, I feel like this game could do with a little bit more of a sense of humor and self-awareness. Like the Mars base level with the BFG 10,000 and you like grabbing that guy's key off his neck, blasting yourself like a cannonball through a wall. I think it needed a bit more of that. Not too much to make it feel like, okay, we get it, it's goofy, but I think it needed to take itself a little bit less seriously.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be better if more of the game stayed in first person, because so much of it is in third person, and when you're looking at Doom Guy, there's nothing going on. But when you're in first person, it's through his eyes, so when he does something, you're drawn attention to it.
Yeah.
So for most of this game, you're out of any body, just watching people stare and talk at each other. Just staying in first person and having Doom Guy do something like his eyes start drifting away when he's bored of this shit or something. That would have helped it, maybe.
Yeah, that is definitely something that a lot of people brought up as the game was approaching release. People were concerned about the third-person cutscenes. It didn't bother me, like, at all, but I definitely see it.
I think it would help for the personality, because it was, like, never in third person in 2016, wasn't it?
Not a single time, yeah.
Like, even from the start, some strange naked man looking for a suit of armor.
Yep.
The other thing, too, though, is all of the explanation only happens sometimes, and so just shit kind of happens and people just know names.
Yeah, it really expects you to read the codex entries if you want to know the greater reasons that things are happening.
Yeah.
Which is convenient because it cuts down on cutscenes, which increases gameplay, but also it makes it harder to understand what's going on, especially in a game with a greater focus on plot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is like it because of that and that heavy reliance on that sort of stuff is like the entire last DLC, at least for me, felt really jarring because I could not follow what was going on because shit just kind of happened.
Yeah, and it didn't help that I did not read the codex entries because I was so done. I read bits and pieces here and there when I was first playing it, but I don't remember most of it. And I just got to the point I didn't give a hoot. So things happened. Why? I don't know.
Also, are the names of like the people of Urdak, the makers, are all of those, like, is that language based on any existing language? Do you know?
I don't know, no.
Or is it just made up? Because on the surface, it looks like trying to make something sound otherworldly, and when you're going through it, it just looks like you're being introduced to a bunch of different results from a text generator.
I'm pretty sure it's all bullshit.
So it doesn't mean anything when they're trying to give it so much meaning.
It doesn't, no. It seems like it's its own made-up, like, situation. I don't think it's like a whole language or anything.
I feel like they even shot themselves in the foot by making the Maker people spelled Maykr instead of just the Makers. Draw it home. These are the people of heaven.
Yeah, that is interesting. It again, it's I guess you're right. It's supposed to make them seem more otherworldly and less like be a little bit less on the nose, I guess.
I think it's a neat game and all that, but like, there's definitely problems. I would personally play 2016 over this.
Yeah. That is completely valid. Even if I don't agree, I completely see like why people would prefer Doom 2016 over this. I just have the most like if I want to play modern Doom, I play Doom Eternal. Like that's my go-to.
Also, like, the enemies in the final DLC are super over-designed.
I think they're under-designed.
What I mean is too much going on in ways that aren't really meaningful.
I'm not sure I agree, because they all seem to have one gimmick, and that kind of just stops there.
And that's what I mean is they didn't need a gimmick.
Hmm.
They felt like answers to questions that didn't need to be answered, or like to problems that didn't need to be solved.
Yeah, like giving a reason to use the auto shotgun.
But yeah, so that's all I got to say on that.
Right, so we may as well take a second and talk about this whole year as a whole. Like we've been recording Doom for a long time now. We have played 5 out of the 6 mainline games. We did not play Doom 3. Still not really planning on it. But I think Doom is one of the most consistently quality series that maybe exists in video games. Because there's, 5, 6 games. That's not a small amount of games in the grand scheme of things. And for them all to be as enjoyable and well-made as they are is pretty impressive to me. Even if, like, Doom 2 is kind of just very much like Doom, but more. It added things that forever changed the game, whether it be the modern games or Doom 3 or even Final Doom. They changed Doom forever. Like, every game, first of all, was fun, and it added upon the last one. Doom is just such an enduring franchise, probably because of things like that.
Yeah, even if mechanically they're not necessarily identical, every game understands the core appeal of the franchise is that high-speed, chaotic action. And as long as they can tap into that, they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Right, and then you had Doom 64, which was kind of a change of that. Doom 64 was a little bit slower and more, like, scary, which turned some people off, but even then, like, it's still a well-made game, and it kind of just feels like its own experience, which is fascinating. Doom 64 is, at least before it got its re-release, was very much considered an underrated gem. And it still is. People kind of still brush off Doom 64 overall. I still think it's an excellent game.
Honestly, I was more into Doom 64 than the first two. The first two are very archaic going back to it, if you haven't grown up with it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it does help that I played Doom 2 when I was a kid. Doom 64 does feel more, it feels more like a Nintendo 64 game, rather than like a 1993 PC game. So if you grew up with the N64, I imagine that would add to your, like, appeal to that.
Yeah, that's probably why. That was my console.
Yeah. Yeah, and I played PlayStation, and I played my dad's Mac growing up. That was mostly my stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty interesting, pretty fun. Though, if anything, just remember one piece of information, one piece of advice about the cyber demon that remains eternal.
Yes, and I'll put it on screen too. I know what you mean, but go ahead.
Shoot it until it dies.
Thank you. It's eternal words.
Doom eternal words.
Doom springs eternal.
I really can't express how perfect of a reboot Doom 2016 was. I think there was a lot of negativity, like, leading up to it. Not a lot. I feel like, I thought it looked great. There are some people who are more concerned.
A lot of people were burned by Doom 3. Like, it was a genuine surprise how good 2016 was. It felt like it came out of nowhere.
Right. Especially, like, leading up to it. Very oddly, id and Bethesda did not provide review copies for Doom 2016. I don't know if they just didn't have confidence in it. I think that was covered in Matt McMuscle's What Happened episode on Doom 2016. Like, why they didn't do that. I do not remember the details. But it was very odd, because at least from my perspective and the perspective most people played it, it's fantastic. I feel like providing review copies would absolutely have boosted its appeal at that point, because it reviewed well, and it would have reviewed well if they provided the stuff beforehand.
Yeah, it didn't help also that between Doom 3 And up to that point, they hadn't really... A bunch of games they released weren't great. The original Rage also wasn't amazing.
Yeah, and then there was that 2009 Wolfenstein reboot. That wasn't id, but no, actually, it wasn't even Bethesda. Activision published that one, so never mind.
Yeah, yeah, as I say, Quake 4 happened in between then, but that also wasn't id.
It wasn't. I thought id developed that.
Pretty sure it wasn't.
But no, it was developed by Ravensoft. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Now they just make Call of Duty. Actually, they made the Wolfenstein reboot too, like the weird 2009 one that no one cares about.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Yeah, it's just somewhat shaky for a little bit, but yeah, just Doom 2016 was such a huge surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Had id made many games semi-recently around that time? Because it feels like hearing id developed new Doom games almost feels like it comes out of nowhere, because id feels so much like a relic of the 90s, just hearing the name.
They made Rage in 2011. That was the last game they made before Doom 2016, actually. Like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, otherwise a lot of their stuff was just mobile shit.
Yeah, like there's actually Doom RPGs for old mobile phones. I actually heard they're pretty good. Like even like this is not like a smartphone game. This is like old like flip phone game.
Oh Christ!
Even that, most people like agree that for what they are, they're pretty good. Doom has just like reached a level of untouchability, it seems, because there is not a bad Doom game. Every one of them have their merits, and it's very impressive.
I don't know. I still see debates about the Doom 3 shotgun on Twitter to this very day.
I know, but like Doom 3 is not a universally panned game, is my point. It has its people who don't like it, but I'd say that the majority of people at least think it's fine. And I think it's good. I haven't beaten it yet, but I have really liked what I played. Well, everyone, if you stuck around through all 5 LPs, thank you so much. I love Doom. These series of LPs have made me love Doom even more. Thank you, Thorn and Torp, for sticking through this long thing that I made you two join me on.
You're welcome.
It would have not been the same without you. But yes, thank you for joining us, and I guess join us next week, probably, for the multiplayer stream, because we're going to play a little bit of battle mode.
Oh, God.